Hello, everybody. Give me just a moment while I add this to the group and to my personal page. I apologize. I know that it is a crazy day. Um, Sorry, I also like to keep my live stream up so I know if I'm having any tech issues. Um, so give me just a second. All right, I had to turn off my sound. How is everybody this Sunday? Okay, so I apologize for the super informal setting um, of today's live stream. Um, I it's been just a wild ride this past week. I will tell you that. If you are in the group, I kind of posted about it a little bit in the Cosmic Lotus Consulting group. I apologize. This week has been extremely overwhelming, so I am going to struggle just a bit with some of my other sensory issues. And I apologize. I'm trying to resize this. I should have done this beforehand. I didn't quite think about it this week. And so, yeah. I need this so I can bring it to the forefront. Okay. There we go. Perfect. All right. Let me size myself down. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, I do have Molnir behind me. I have a Cheshire cat. And for anybody who cares, I'm laying on a pickle Rick. Um, very, very informal with my stepbrother shirt. Um, so, yes, without further ado, let's get Loki. No, I apologize. I will most likely have to talk to the dog a fair amount. He tends to get a little on the jealous side. So yeah, I apologize. He's a big old baby. Um, he's my service dog in training, and he's adorable, but still a rotten, stinking pain in my rear end. All right. So let's talk about the 2 week rule and why small business cash reserves are like a diet. We all know that we should do better when we're on a diet, but financial disruption can really, truly, and unravel it all. So, what we want to talk about this week is money, or more accurately, the lack of it. Um, Small businesses tend to live paycheck to paycheck. This is also true for micro businesses, startups, nonprofits. Like most of us, except for they also have to pay for insurance, taxes, and Karen's refund request. So we're going to talk about the problem, which the problem is structural barriers. You can't borrow what you don't have. So why are we in this mess? It's not because they're bad people. It's because of the structural barriers. Loki, stop. It's because of the structural barriers. Small businesses operate on razor thin margins. You have a good month and you can pay all of your bills. And if you're lucky, you might have a few bucks left over for a celebratory coffee. Again, this is something that is common for a lot of industries, startups, nonprofits, micro businesses, not just small businesses. But if this sounds familiar, you might be in the situation that I'm about to talk about. A recent study has found that the median cash reserve for a small business is a terrifying 2 weeks. That makes them incredibly susceptible to any economic shock. And even if they want to get help, the system is rigged against them. You cannot borrow what you don't have. If you have limited credit or a new business model, good luck getting a traditional loan. The bank wants to see 3 years of flawless financials and perfect credit score. My Lord, I can't talk. And let's not forget the systemic barriers that mean aid and capital often go to white-owned businesses, leaving many underserved entrepreneurs to fend for themselves against an incredibly hostile system. Some of the action steps that we are going to talk about in this are going to be creating a financial snapshot. Now, this isn't just about knowing your bank balance. It's about an unflinching look at your business's true financial health. We're talking federal tax returns, profit, loss reports, balance sheets for at least the last 3 years. This is your baseline, your starting point for any strategic financial decisions that you're not going to be able to fix because you wouldn't normally understand. Second, you need to actively seek financial literacy. Ignorance is not bliss, and it never has been, let's be honest. You don't want to be blindsided by something. This goes the same for your business. When it comes to business financials and inventory and making sure that your employees are well taken care of, do not take the ignorance is bliss route, please. You'll only hurt yourself, your employees, and your business in the end. You need to know how to maintain a good business credit score and understand the difference between a line of credit and a term loan. This is a non-negotiable part of being a serious business owner. If you don't know this stuff, you're just playing a high-stakes guessing game. Finally, you must build an emergency fund. A rainy day is coming. No matter what type of business you are, it's not an if, but a when. Think about COVID, guys. When COVID hit, restaurants were thriving. We were just starting to get to a point where our economy was starting to get a little bit of a boost. We kind of felt like we were finally on stable economic ground. And then bam, out of nowhere came COVID. And what did that do? I mean, it shut down the entire world for months. We weren't just operating at a slower pace. We were mostly at a standstill. Businesses were falling. left and right. They were just dropping like flies, sadly, because there was no funds to come in or go out. And it put people in a really serious situation. And so, again, this is not a matter of if, but when. You have to proactively set aside money during the stable periods. This financial safety net will help weather your business through the tougher times like slow seasons, pandemics, you name it, without having to take on high interest debt that can sink you faster than a leaky boat. And guys, we don't want that. We do not want your business to go from a Royal Caribbean cruise ship to the Titanic. We're trying to prevent that. This can be the difference between a momentary setback or a permanent collapse. So, are you ready to really start diving into some of the cold, hard facts? All right, so settle in, you beautiful little masochists, because there's no other way to refer to us crazy business owners. I apologize. We're about to talk about something that nobody else wants to hear, and that is why your dream business is probably already circling the drain. The number one reason is not because you ran out of kale or your latte sucks, okay? People don't really care about if you ran out of kale this week. They'll come back a different day. They might be upset about it for that moment because they had a bad day, you know, but they'll ultimately be back as long as you still sit here and show them appreciation, show them kindness, you know, but it's because nobody gives a damn about just one product. That's the problem. Look at Starbucks. They are one of many retailers that sell coffee. But if you're closer to a Dunkin' Donuts, you'll still stop at a Dunkin' Donuts. People will choose their favorite brands as long as it's easy. That's why there's a Starbucks on every corner. But when it comes to putting in that actual work, you have to do the smart thinking because your customers are not going to do it for you. It's the no market need guillotine, and it takes out nearly half of all startups. And this isn't some macroeconomic nightmare, it's cold, hard, local reality checks. If you can't get people to open their wallets, you're not a business, you're a charity with a bad lease. And honestly, nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be that person that just paid their rent out of their own pocket. You want to be that person that can drive in the business. You have to differentiate or die. It's really that simple. You need to make your business not in a way that says we're cheaper than our competitor, because if that's the game you're playing, you've already lost. That is a one-way ticket to you're broke. You need a gimmick, you need a hook, you need something that makes a customer look at you and say, oh, thank God, not another Starbucks. You want to find the tiny sliver of the market that nobody else is serving, and you want to own it. Don't be generic white bread sandwiches when you can be a damn gourmet taco. I mean, you're not going to sit here and have a mouth watering over two pieces of bread that are toasted with cheese in the middle, when you are sitting here with a gourmet taco that has barria meat and guacamole and bacon and just everything that you can think of. I mean, I pico de gallo. I mean, you name it. Which are you going to choose? The taco or this sad looking grilled cheese? I would choose the taco. Now, you want to build a cult following. If you guys haven't read Peter Shankman's Zombie Loyalists, you absolutely need to. It is by far one of my most favorite books. I have the audiobook, which is read by Peter Shankman, and oh my god, the narration is just incredible. Um, and Peter Shankman does so many amazing things, and he's autistic, which just makes my autistic little business heart so happy, because it lets me know that if he can run a business and be a businessman and still be autistic and build a cult following, then so can I. That is truly one of my favorite books. I want to start up a Brains Award in honor of that book. But that'll be something to talk about on a different day. But you want to build a cult following. I'm done raving, because again, Peter Shankman's already done his job. He built a cult following in me. But big corporations have a lot of money, and you, though, have a personality. Think about it. If you walk into Walmart, you're just walking in and you're thinking about the groceries that you have to have. Maybe one or two people that you see are somebody that you see regularly, and maybe you have a little bit of a relationship with them, but it's nothing like knowing the owner of Walmart. And that's what people have with you. You're a smaller business. They get to see the excitement that you personally have for your business. They get to see the excitement that you have going in and dealing with customers and doing what you love. Leverage that. People are so tired of slick, focused group brands. They want to connect with a real human being. They don't want to call and hear your automated system and go round and round and round, because you don't want to have them talk to a real person, because a real person costs money. I get that. I do. But you have to spend money to make money. And how do you do this when you don't initially have money? We're going to talk about that. But you want to use your personal story to create an emotional leash for people. You want to get involved in your community. You want to sponsor that T-ball team, or throw a party or a community event, or just stop a local kid from being bullied. Types of things will really go a long way. One of the things that I am doing is I am looking to work with Pure Violence McKees Rocks, because where I live, there has been a significant amount of gun violence. There has been a significant amount of gun violence in the neighborhood that I live in the overall area that I live in. And I don't want to see another family affected by gun violence. And so that is an approach that I want to take with my business, is advocating for less violence in the community, and even revitalization of the community. I would like to be working with some of the gardening groups. I would like to find somewhere that we can have an actual community garden in McKees Rocks. I feel like that could be extremely helpful to the area. I have so many ideas of things that even I want to do within my community. It is so easy to find needs and work on filling those needs. Look at it this way. When you're a part of the fabric of the neighborhood and the community, they're going to feel a little tiny pang of guilt if they go anywhere but with you. You know, they're going to sit here and they're going to be like, "Ooh, maybe I should have gotten my flyers done at that new little sign shop that just put down sponsoring the Kennedy T-ball team this year," or whatever. You know, and just look at it this way. It is a beautifully manipulative strategy that benefits everybody. It benefits the community because you're volunteering and doing work and showing the community that you care. And it benefits you because the community is going to see that true compassion for the community and they're going to reciprocate that. Now we're on to show me the money. Look, this is the "you're poor, I'm poor, we're all poor" talk. Now, for the fun part, money, or, well, more accurately, the lack of it. Securing capital is a special kind of hell for small business owners, traditional banks. I mean, they treat you like a disease that they can't afford to catch. You're a startup, a micro business, a small business, but maybe you have under the $150,000 a year that they want before they'll even touch a loan with you with a 75-foot pole. Do you ever feel like that? I'm sure that you do. I know a lot of us do. But the numbers don't lie. It's even worse if you're a woman or a minority business owner. You're then 3 times more likely to not even bother applying for a loan because you've already braced for the no. So you're stuck in this glorious loop of you need money to grow, but you can't get money because you're too small to grow. It's a real catch-22, minus the comedy. Now, we are going to talk about financial lifelines. I apologize for the shaking. My leg itched. These financial lifelines are exactly what we want to look at while we're trying to grow. When you're looking for money as a startup, a nonprofit, a micro business, a small business, remember these 3 pillars. First, forget the big banks. Instead, look into CDFIs or community development financial institutions and microlenders. These are going to be your best opportunity to get a small business loan or a startup loan because these organizations are specifically built to support small businesses and communities. So they're often more flexible and willing to work with you. There is a small place over on the Pittsburgh's north side, and they help small businesses get loans. Up to $75,000 is like their fastest of the 2 types of loans that they do, but then the second loan is up to like 150,000. But that one takes longer to disperse because it has to go through. Sorry, I got hair all over me. But because it has to go through an additional review by the board to make sure that it's a good loan option, where the other one does not have to go through that. If you guys want the information for that, let me know. I will go back through and I will start building like a community resource tab, or post or whatever. And I'll also put it in the group as well, to where I can start building resources for small and micro businesses to go to get grants and loans and stuff like that. Second, do not be afraid to beg for grants. Grants are free money that you do not have to pay back. It takes research and persistence to write a strong proposal, but the return on the effort is absolutely worth it. Now, if you guys are going to be working on a grant proposal, let me know. I can help with the business plan. I have an extremely detailed template that I want to thank the SBDC for, because that will help give you a wonderful start to what you're going to need for your business proposal, for any and all grants. So let me know. I can send you that template, and I can help you work through it if you need. I can help you sign up for any official documentation through your state that you would need. I am most familiar with Pennsylvania and Ohio's business portals, just so everybody is aware. That's the ones that I have the most experience with as of right now. Finally, you have to stop pretending that your credit score doesn't matter. It is truly the most powerful financial tool that you will ever have. By getting your credit report in order, paying bills on time, and managing your debt, you will unlock better loan rates and more opportunities down the road. And I know that that sounds so cliche, and I'm sorry, but it's true. My husband and I, we were recently working on trying to purchase a house. And I am 1 point away from where they want me to be for my credit to get a loan for a home. 1 point. My husband's a lot more than that. We're just not going to say. But, a lot of companies will work with you on being able to rebuild your credit. It's really, truly not as difficult as it sounds. Call up a creditor, a lender, start looking for opportunities, and be like, if I take one of your financial literacy courses, would that help me be able to get a loan? A lot of banks have free financial literacy help. If you have a banking account through your personal account, you can absolutely go through financial literacy with them as well, and they will also help you. They do also help usually with some sort of credit consolidation, um, ways to kind of go and find a way to lower your payments, or they'll let you know the best ways to potentially boost your credit score the fastest and things like that. Really integrate your banks into your business, because they're going to be the best ones to be able to help your business. I will start gathering together the information for like SCORE, Pittsburgh's SBDC sites information and all of that. I'm not going to put a deadline on it because we have some really exciting things coming up. And I really want to make sure that I don't overwhelm myself during the next like 3-ish weeks, because my whole family is about to be going through a whole bunch of changes. And I'm totally excited for it. I'm totally here for it. It's going to be a huge benefit, not just to my family, but to my business. And so I'm really excited on October 1st to be able to tell everybody what it is. So yes, that is all that I have for today. Please put any comments, questions, whatever in the comments below. I will absolutely 100% get to them. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you all next week.